And we are live. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Welcome to the Film Pod. Wow, you all sound so excited.
I know,
Are you
right?
actually like?
Let's
Are we starting right now? Or are we sending out links?
yeah, we can
I
send
think it's
out the links now. I was just starting the stream, but yeah,
Gotcha.
everybody send out the link. You could just go on, like right onto the YouTube video that's currently going, and we can
You
just
don't see
send it
where
out from there.
Oh no, you can just do it from Google Hangout. You don't see where it says like links in the bottom right hand corner.
Well, there's one on the top for me, but I don't know if it looks the same way for y'all.
It's gonna look the same way. It's just
Yeah.
it'd be like YouTube. Just
Yeah.
send it to our Facebook.
Yeah, your Facebook, Twitter, whatever, individual people you want to see it, just send out the link. We'll do that for about 5 minutes, and then everybody can watch.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So I'm kind of learning here. So you were talking about a thing in the bottom right-hand corner. Let me full screen this mofo.
Or the top. There should be a link somewhere that you should be able to see.
Okay. I mean, I see the Google Hangout stream, and then I also see a screen share button.
Yeah, go if you see a link, that's what we're looking for. Like a URL. Also, I'm about to share it on my Facebook, so if you can't see the link, then it should be.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll pull it up on my Facebook right now. Well, I'll pull up my Facebook up to see your link.
Alright, I'm gonna tag y'all.
All right.
My computer is so slow. I just got internet out here, y'all, where I live, and I had to get DSL.
Damn.
Dang.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it works all right. I mean, I can stream like Hulu and Netflix and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, I can play games pretty well. Now, downloading stuff, that's what takes the longest. Like, when I had to download Red Dead Redemption 2,
Oh my god. That probably took like a month.
Oh, no. Okay, so I got it, and I got the Ultimate Edition one. It took... I think it literally took a whole 24 hours, if I'm not mistaken, because I had to put in the first... I had to put in the first disc, and then I had to, right after that, put in the gameplay disc to download that.
Oh my god. That probably took so long.
It was absolutely ridiculous. I need to get one of those, like, terabyte hard drives or something.
Yeah, dude.
What do you mean? I'm trying to sign into my Facebook on this laptop.
All right, shared it.
Nice. Yeah, we can start in a few minutes. Because, I mean, like, it doesn't really matter, like, who all's watching, as long as people can watch it later if they don't catch it right now.
That's true.
I know it's a bad, like, mentality for a live stream, but, I mean, like...
Well, it's funny, too, because when I had one band on for the first, like, podcast with Where and Who, we had, like, 7 viewers live.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Probably because they have, like, a following and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what's the point. Yeah, like, it helps, like, with that, for sure. I mean, I love talking to them, but following does help, obviously.
Absolutely.
No, I don't want to go to the YouTube link. This is making me so angry.
So has everyone posted to their social media or send it to whoever?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm good to go whenever y'all are. So
Alright, just 1 second.
we
My
currently have
computer's
0 viewers, so it really
yeah.
doesn't matter when we start, honestly. So, and for those of you watching who aren't watching it live right now, watching it pre-recorded, you can probably skip a couple minutes ahead because we're going to be waiting a
Yeah.
second. So,
No kidding. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's a wrap for me. Alright, cool, I'm good.
all right, we all good?
Yep.
All right, starting now. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Film Pod. This is JT Dubs,
And this is Ivan Lichtenstein.
and we have our new guest host.
Hi, my name is Lauren.
As if no one's watching right now, but they will
Right.
say hi later in the comments. But welcome to the Film Pod, Lauren. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you guys doing today?
Good, good.
We're doing awesome.
So we've been talking about this for a little bit on having a third person on for the Film Pod, just to create more of a discussion and a dialogue behind what we talk about. So me and Jackson talked about it for a while, and we thought you'd be great to have on. So with that being said, we're gonna do a little Q&A with Lauren Gaston. Lauren, are you ready?
Oh yeah, I'm excited. Let's do this.
All right. Let's start off very simple. Let's start off very basic. Let's start off very icebreaker. State your name, where you're from, and what your business is. Go.
Okay, so my name is Lauren Gaston. I am 20 years old, and I'm going to school right now to be a CNA. And I'm going to work my way up and hopefully become a registered nurse. So that's pretty exciting, right? I think that's why it's taken me so long to get on here. Thanks for having me, by the way.
You're welcome. So
Oh yeah, we wanted you back on like in October, I think it was, and it just didn't happen.
I had to work, getting in school, getting it up. I finally got in. I graduate in February. So.
Well, talk a little bit. You were like a manager at like Wendy's or something. Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I was. So I was a manager for Wendy's for probably about 2 years. First, I worked for this one in Adairsville, Georgia, and I was there on and off about 3 to 5 years. And then I became a general manager for all the ones in Rome. So all the ones in Rome, Georgia, if they needed me there, I would go there, work there. My main store was this little small town in Almerchi. I hated it. It was so slow. And then sometimes I would have to like travel out of district. Like I would have to go to Alabama, or I would have to go to like Tennessee, and I would have to go work there. It was just ridiculous.
The Armurchi one, that's the one across from the DMV, right?
That's right.
What's the pathway to become a general manager for a Wendy's?
Okay, so the pathway to become a GM for Wendy's is you start off as a crew member making minimum wage. You have to go through these things called WeLearns, and you sit there and it teaches you all the stuff that you need to know about this restaurant, okay? Like how to make the sandwiches, what the sandwiches are, how to make the fries, how to prepare them, how to do the nuggets, the drinks, just the whole 9 yards. And then when you become a shift supervisor, then you start doing management WeLearns, and then it starts teaching you about food variants, labor, how to do the paperwork, how to fill it out, how to work the systems online, how to do truck orders, all about mainly just running a business. It was pretty fun. Sometimes I'd have to get up at like 5 in the morning, drive, open the store starting at 7. It would take about 3.5 hours to get everything ready because we'd open at 10:30. My store in Almerchi probably brought about $26,000 in sales in like maybe 6 months. We were a very small store. Not many people came to us, so.
That's still a lot of fucking money in roast beef, though. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
No kidding. No kidding.
So what? When people see you and you tell them that you're a CNA, what's their initial reaction?
That someone like me, there's no way that I could be a CNA because of the way I look, how I have piercings, how I have visible, huge tattoos. the way that I act, I guess they just don't see me going into the medical field. But my number one thing is to help people. I love helping people. I like to make people smile. I like to make people feel good. So I felt like it was a really good route for me.
Gotcha. Do you have anything to say, Jackson, at all?
How's school going for you guys?
It's great.
It's been a while.
I'm graduating in May, and then Jackson has one more year left, so I'm happy about
No,
that.
I got 2 more years left, dude. I'm gonna be in
That's
school
right,
for a while.
Oh, really?
you
You're not graduating
switched schools,
2020?
right?
Well, no, it is gonna be 2020, but like the very end of 2020.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but hey, school's awesome. You get to learn stuff, and I'm kind of learning like film studio stuff right now, and just kind of perfecting my filmmaking craft. And I think that's like cool because I did spend a year in the workforce working full time, and Lauren and I actually worked together for a little while, and like working full time is a lot of hard work, and like
Mhm.
It
being in school is a lot easier by comparison. I mean, you have a lot more going on like that you have to stress about, but at the same time, like it's a lot less physical labor than like working full time.
It's so funny you said that too, because I remember like when you were working full time, and I'm sure Lauren could attest to this too.
Mhm.
But when that or during that time, I was in school, so the entire time I would be like stressed out about a test or an exam or any assignment, and I would get home stressed out, and I would think to myself, "Wow, Jackson just worked his shift like at 3 a.m. at Krispy Kreme, but he has other things to worry about, like work wise."
Yeah, I mean, I come home
It's
and
a
play.
weird.
I come home and play video games, and then like pass out, like drink beer and shit. Like it was
That,
like there was
Right.
some luxury in it. In that, like, I mean, I was like physically working a lot, and I was tired all the time, but like I didn't have a whole lot on my mind. But now that I'm in school, it's kind of the opposite. It's like I have a lot more like physical energy because I'm not like constantly working, but at the same time, like I got a lot I'm worrying about. I got a lot scheduled and a lot of stuff happening. So
Oh yeah, no doubt. I know how that goes. Working full time, 24/7, working what? I think I was working probably about 50 to 70 hours a week, and then it just cut cold turkey and I went straight to school and I get Fridays off.
So,
yeah,
like,
Fridays off is the best.
so when you're working 50 to 70 hours a week and you go to school within the snap of my fingers, does it feel easier, or does it feel like you always or like the last time you went to school before you were working full time? You know what I
Um,
mean?
yeah. Well, my body feels better since I get to like actually rest more often, because when I was working so much and trying to balance a life at the same time, it was like physically, emotionally, and mentally just exhausting.
You
Yeah,
know,
I feel kind of the same way. Like right now, like I'm back in school. I've been back in school for like over a semester now, but I usually just feel a lot more rested and like I have energy right now than when I was working full time. But at the same time, like I have like homework and stuff I'm constantly doing. It's not like I'm like when I was working full time, I'd come home, and when you come home there, you really have like nothing you have to do, which is kind of nice.
The only thing that sucks the most about it is that my drive is different. When I go to work, I'm thinking about, oh, I'm making money. When I go to school, I may be thinking about how I'm making a degree, but it also makes me upset. Like, I had to pay to come here. Come on now.
Yeah, for
yeah,
real. School's expensive.
God, it's ridiculous. I feel so like envious of the students that are studying in Sweden. Their tuition's paid for.
Oh yeah, that shit's awesome.
I know. But maybe when you are working hard and you want to take a break, you could watch a movie, right? So
Right.
since this is the film pod, what are some of your favorite movies?
Oh my God, I have so many. So
Just like name them off the bat, like things that go
I
into your mind
think
right now. Go ahead.
okay, so I'm a pretty big nerd. I like, a whole bunch of the old-timey stuff. I like God, I don't even know where to start. Have y'all been keeping up with any of the, well, obviously, but the new Avengers movies. Those have been pretty good.
Yeah, I got a shirt that has them all on here right now. So yeah.
I like the Star Wars saga, Star Trek.
So basically, you like all the stuff I like and not the stuff Ivan likes.
Basically, that's what I'm keeping.
Well, what does Ivan like?
I like if I were like to name like my like just random movies I like right now, it's like No Country for Old Men, Blue is the Warmest Color, Edward Scissorhands,
Okay,
Pulp Fiction.
I like that kind of stuff. I like a whole bunch of like Tim Burton movies and whole 9 yards.
Yeah, Tim Burton's good.
Lauren, speaking of Tim Burton, what do you think about the new Dumbo movie coming out this year?
I am so excited. Oh, I am so excited. I think that is going to be just like crazy. Now, I don't know how I feel about the whole, like CGI thing. Like, I haven't seen the new Lion King movie yet.
Well, it hasn't come out yet.
I mean, like the trailers and stuff for it.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically
it looks kind of pointless to me, honestly, like, because it's all going to be animated since there's no like humans in it.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be good, but it's nothing that I would like beg someone to go see with me.
I probably won't see it unless someone makes me see it.
They're CGIing pretty much everything now. Like a whole bunch of artists that have passed away, they're taking them and like making albums for them with CGI. They're making these movies with CGI, with the new Lion King movie, that Pikachu movie that's coming out with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh my God, Ivan, that's gonna have to be like our garbage movie 1 month. Like
that. I think that's gonna be the next Green Lantern on how terrible that's gonna be.
Are they aware though that they're making a bad movie?
What's that?
What now?
Are they aware though that they are making a bad movie? Or
I hope so. I hope they are.
Yeah. That'd be great, especially if it gets greenlit in Hollywood in this day and age.
I think that they want to take. I think what they're trying to do with this Pokemon movie, they have taken Deadpool and just run it into the ground, and so they're trying to take that attitude and put it in this cute little fur ball, and try to turn it into the next big thing, and it's not working out.
He's not gonna curse or make sex jokes or break the fourth wall. So
yeah,
maybe he might break the fourth wall, but I don't know.
He's still going to have that smart aleck attitude that everyone's looking for.
The thing with Deadpool that makes it successful for what it is that it's aware, the movie is aware of itself and that it makes fun of itself. And it knows its genre, it knows its content, and that makes it easily relatable to the audience. And
I mean, I've been a Pokemon fan for years, and I think the idea of like a live action kind of CGI Pokemon movie sounds cool, but I don't know why they picked Detective Pikachu of all games to like adapt.
If they really want to take it to the above and beyond, I like where you're going with that, Jackson. Like a CGI Pokemon movie, but it's literally based on like getting up and like finding them in battles and all the whole 9 yards, instead of just like taking it and putting it with the moderate world now.
Pokemon Go, the movie.
I guess.
I would not want to. That would be like the Emoji Movie, like again.
Oh God.
Ivan, emojis are how we are going to communicate in the future. So
we already do that already.
No, because in the future, every single word is going to be considered offensive. So you're going to have to only communicate using emojis.
That's true.
That's very true.
So I mean, the Emoji Movie, revolutionary. It's ahead of its time. That's all I have to say about it.
How do y'all feel about the God, I hate being so awkward. How do y'all feel about the Black Mirror Bandersnatch, the interactive movie?
Okay,
have y'all tried that out yet?
Yes, I watched it and I was very disappointed. Not disappointed, but very mixed by it because
I've tried it 3 times.
It is?
I can't finish it.
Jackson, do you know what it is?
What are you talking about? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Black Mirror. You know the show Black Mirror, right? On Netflix.
Yeah. They did a movie, right?
It was like but it's like an interactive movie, and the way it works is that it works around the plot. So it's about this guy who's making a video game, which is like he's making a choose your own adventure video game where every choice matters in the game. And that's the plot for the movie. But in the movie, you have to choose what happens next within the plot. And it could be small things like what cereal you're going to eat, or things like
Kill your dad.
what decision you were going to make that
Kill
time.
your dad. I have one question because I have been wanting to watch that. Do you have to watch all the episodes of the show to watch the movie?
No, you
No,
don't. It's
it,
Okay,
has,
because
it
I've
has
seen
nothing to do
some of
with
the episodes.
the actual
I've seen
TV
some
show.
of the episodes, but I've not seen them all, so I wasn't sure.
My
But
thing
I'll check it out.
is that I made a choice in the movie that could impact the plot, and I made the wrong choice apparently, quote unquote the wrong choice, so I have to restart back from the beginning. But I'm like,
Oh, I hated
no,
that.
but no, like I made that choice. Like that should
Wait, why was it the wrong choice? Did you die or something?
no, I didn't die. I mean, no, you don't die. Like
Well,
you
Wait, so you can make a choice that's wrong and it just kicks you back to the beginning?
yeah, pretty much. And so you have to make the right choice again.
That's stupid.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's why I turned it off. I was like, I'm not dealing with this. Like
I got annoyed with it. Like I tried it 3 different times, and every single time I ended up just cutting it off because, like Ivan was saying, so it allows you to make a decision. Okay, so for example, he makes a job, or he's not making a job. He makes a game, and he goes to this job to become an intern, and they
that
want.
was the moment I'm talking about.
And like the first one, spoilers, I'm sorry. And like one of the first few decisions is you either take your game and you work on it as a team, or you take it and you go home with it. Okay? So of course, I accepted the job. Who wouldn't? You know what I mean? Well, it fast forwards and then it shows how like the game just went terribly. It was abrupt, and then it's just like, okay, start over. So if you choose the decision that the movie doesn't want, it takes you all the way back. You have to watch it all over again in a recap, and then make the decision that they want you to choose, and then that's how you keep going.
That's what
So
I like about it. It's a
Basically, if you make the wrong decision, you get sent back. So wouldn't it have just been better if it had just been a movie without allowing you to make the choices, since it
Here's what
wants
they
you to go
should-
down a predetermined
Here's
path?
what they should have done. It should have been like that where you make the choice, but there should have been different endings to the movie based off your choices, not one where you have to go all the way back and make the right choice.
Well,
I think
back in the day, I watched some YouTube videos that like did that kind of style where they were like interactive and you could pick, and like usually like it had different endings, but occasionally if you did have like a fail, it would just take you like right back, and it wouldn't waste your time.
It's a bit more complicated than that, though.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain.
Sometimes it wouldn't take you all the way back. Sometimes it would take you to the last scene. Like, not the scene that you had just interacted with, but the one right before it.
I don't know why they did this. Like, I guess it's creative, and it's not the worst thing. I know it sounds like I'm like ranting about it, but it's not the worst thing like I've ever seen.
Honestly, if they wanted to do an interactive, they shouldn't have been so lazy with it.
It's really lazy.
I think they wanted to keep it a movie, but try to make it to where like we could choose our own way that the movie went out. But it just ends up being the same thing anyways.
Also, there were things in that movie that made no sense. Like, why do I have a choice between this? Why does this impact the plot? Like,
You know what? I think another thing that's weird is how they're making movies based on our senses now. Like A Quiet Place. Now we're doing the Interactions one with Bandersnatch. There's the one that we're about to be reviewing, Bird Box.
Bird Box.
And then what was the other one? It was like you couldn't see, you can't hear, you can't speak.
Is there a movie where you can't smell?
No, not yet.
We can make it, guys. Patent it right now. Get the rights. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be called No Nose Nose, and we just like remove our noses. We have to walk around looking like Voldemort.
No, it has to be called nonsense, but like the N after the NON, the last N has to be crossed out, so it's like no sense. To make it look cool and edgy.
But then you would have none of the senses, and you'd just be like a human stub that would
No,
just like roll around.
but for the poster, you have to make the word no, stylized as a nose.
I like it.
Nose. It's
Or we could get a
it's
whole
just
bunch
like
of plastic surgery
underline
like
the
Michael
no
Jackson.
part of nose.
Yes. All right.
Well, I guess that's a good segue. I think we asked Lauren enough questions. So let's get right to our review of Bird Box 2018, a
Woo!
Netflix original movie starring Sandra Bullock.
Mom, I
Um,
love her.
yeah, she's pretty great. Ivan, you're good at recapping things. Why don't you recap the general synopsis for the audience in case they haven't heard it?
So Bird Box is a movie about a virus, quote unquote virus, that takes over the world. And Sandra Bullock has to get to an area of safety with these two kids. And while this is going on, it flashes back to the events that happened 5 years previous that led her to this event. So Jackson,
Although I would honestly say that it's basically just two movies in one.
it basically is. It's
Like
Pretty much.
it's you pretty much combine your like very typical like sort of stereotypical horror movie of like there being a virus and there being like like a zombie outbreak or something and people being stuck in a house and having to live together and survive
Yeah.
together and like get like it's basically that like very like cookie cutter type plot mixed like
know,
and then flash forwards to like another plot with Sandra Bullock and the two kids. Like it's almost like two different movies. That's what I noticed
that's
right away.
that's exactly what I was about to get to. That being said, the whole two separate plots, it's almost like they were trying to take two different movies and put it in one.
Yeah, I agree. That's how I felt the entire time watching it actually.
I mean, it was okay. It was okay. You know, it wasn't like I would get distracted easily while watching it. But at first, you know, when I was watching it, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, you know, there's demonic voices going on. There's obviously something coming after them on why they're wearing these blindfolds. And then it goes to the past 5 years earlier, and it makes it out like it's a zombie apocalypse. You know what I mean? Like an apocalyptic outbreak.
Yeah, it's stylized like that too because literally I've seen this before too. In the remake of Dawn of the Dead, where they're in a hospital and suddenly the outbreak happens in the hospital and they have to escape from the hospital and go to an enclosed house, just like Jackson was saying. But the thing was that with the flashbacks they were talking about, I felt like it lost a lot of the tension when they kept cutting back to what was happening in the future because you know she's going to be okay. And also everything that was happening in the house too was pretty funny.
Yeah, it kind of removes some of the tension when you like already know like what's gonna happen to her, and you don't see any of the other characters, so you're like, okay, like the rest of them are probably gonna die.
Oh,
And then
I already knew that was going down.
as soon as the other like pregnant lady comes in, you're like,
That's
there's two pregnant ladies and two kids in 5 years who look like they're 5 years old, but there's only one mom, so what happens to the other mom? Like, I mean, come on.
It,
and it's
you
also
know,
hilarious that they named that she named them boy and girl.
Yeah, that made no
was
sense.
so
Like
funny.
that was kind of silly.
but yet she had the nerve to give them names whenever her Obi comes walking up to her 5 years later and it's like, oh, what are y'all's names? Boy and girl. No, I'm gonna give y'all's names right now.
Yeah, because she
And I'm
didn't want to
just
seem like an idiot.
I know.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna name y'all after some people that we just lost.
Also, spoiler alert for anybody who's. I think we forgot to mention that we basically went straight to spoilers because it's kind of hard to talk about anything in this movie without spoiling like major
It's
plot
okay.
points.
I mean, Netflix basically advertised that 45 million people saw this movie.
That's
I mean,
kind of the point of
everyone's
podcasts.
already seen it.
So.
Like,
Yeah. This whole movie was like just the reason I watched this movie is because it was done through social media.
Yeah. Like,
all the memes, so
All I
many
mean, I
memes.
was like, what is this movie? And then I watched it. I'm like, this is pretty bad and hilarious.
I honestly don't think I would have watched this movie if y'all wouldn't have said, hey, we're reviewing the Bird Box, so watch it.
I pretty much planned on watching it anyways because I just had heard so much about it. I was like, I have to check this out, and it's free on Netflix, or not free, but
It's
You
on
get-
that.
yeah.
it's on Netflix. You know.
Well,
which-
I've never been one to hop on like social media stuff unless it's like just sharing memes mainly.
Oh, for me, but Bird Box to me, when I saw the like image of like Sandra Bullock with a blindfold on, I thought it was gonna be hilarious.
I thought it was gonna be like a Hunger Games esque, like they got to go through like a maze with a blindfold on. I had no idea what the movie was gonna be about, and I was a little disappointed that the movie ended up just being like your most cookie cutter like possible like horror movie. And I say that because last semester my film class was the basically the topic was we specialized in only watching movies about infection and viruses and stuff because there's so many movies out there about that. And there's this movie called Pontypool that we watched that has a very vague kind of virus that's like this. However, instead of it being like a virus that you see and you catch like through your eyes, it's one that you hear, and the whole movie takes place in a radio station. That movie's a lot better than this movie was. But this movie reminded me of that because of the fact that it has this very vague, like almost unexplained infection, like that you catch through like just a sense, pretty much.
Did both of y'all notice how cheesy the ending of the movie was?
Yes.
It was like they
hated
died.
it.
It was like they died and went to heaven, essentially.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, the guy's telling him all this stuff, and she's like, "Why are you telling him this? They're not gonna live this way." And then they get to the place at the end, and it's just like sunshine and rainbows, just kids running around everywhere like it's a dream, just birds just singing.
I love how they
was like-
treated the fact that it was like a school for the blind as like it was like a twist or something. I mean, it was kind of clever, and that was like, okay, like these would be the only people who wouldn't have who would have been able to survive, but the fact they treated it
Not
like
all
it
of
was
them
like
are blind.
yeah, well that's true, and the fact they treated it like it was like a twist was like the way that they sort of like shot it was as though they were gonna like turn the camera to like some major twist. I thought like
Yeah.
some character from before was gonna come back or something. I mean, I guess they sort of did, but one of the main characters, not the
Right.
like doctor lady from the beginning.
Another thing that I did not like about the movie was also how, okay, so in the movie, I didn't necessarily understand it was a virus, but they were saying creatures, like it was like they were people. What were they looking for?
Yeah, I don't know. This movie is so bad, and people think it's so good, and it's really confusing me.
I really just I didn't think it was
Really
awful.
bad.
I
It's
thought it was
really
I thought it was just
bad.
really
Like
I thought it was
I thought
really
I was
cliche.
I thought I was missing something the whole time because they're like, they're looking for something. It brings out the anger in them, the grief in them, and all this stuff. And I'm like, but what creatures are there? How can somebody in just the wind be? I mean, it didn't make any sense to me. I was, especially when that guy, spoilers, I'm sorry, when they let that guy in and he had like all those pictures out and stuff. That's what I was expecting to see, like some kind of fictional creature that was getting them. Did it end up just being like the people that didn't kill themselves, or what?
Well, they never say, and here's kind of my biggest problem with the movie. When you've got a work of fiction like this, and a lot of movies that are kind of lazily written like this kind of is, seem to forget that, but it's like your movie, your world has to have rules. There has to be some kind of rules, otherwise there's no tension, because you can, with no rules, you can make up anything as you go along.
Right.
And that's kind of what this movie does. Is that guy you talked about? He just sets all the pictures out, and he acts completely unlike any other character in this movie, because all the other characters that have been infected, you can tell that they're infected. Like clearly, there's no like mistaking it. Like their eyes are messed up, and they're all but he like somehow like fakes them out for like a long enough time to where he can trick them, and that breaks all the like previously established rules of the movie and goes completely unexplained. So not only do you have this threat that is never defined in the whole movie and is so vague that you have no idea what it is, but you also create rules that almost, or not create rules, but you add in things that break any kind of rules that you tried to establish, and that completely breaks any kind of immersion that an audience member could have who's trying to be invested in the conflict of the film.
Well, I've also said this to people too, is that this movie is one of those movies you have to watch and turn your brain off, because there are a lot of things in the world that don't make sense, such as the scene when they're driving to the supermarket and they put tape on all of the cars so they can't see anything. But it's one of those cars that has alert signals on there, so you can kind of sense what's in front of you and what's behind you. That's not how one of those cars works. Like,
you have to really suspend your disbelief. Like,
you really do, especially also the yarn scenes as well, where they so in the movie, after 5 years, they have yarn all over where they live to get to work from place to place. But I'm thinking, how does that get there? Like, that makes no sense on how that's set up.
It's so funny that you say that. I was wondering the exact same thing.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense because it's all about not seeing. So if those people that were infected that didn't kill themselves are out there, couldn't they just see that string and be like, oh, this leads to something? And then they just mosey on up there and
Yeah,
find
exactly.
their house.
Like you're trying to remain hidden, but you're leaving all of your whereabouts by like placing all these like objects everywhere.
And why do some of the infected people just instantly start killing themselves, and others like just accept it and like kind of walk around normally, except that they like worship the light or whatever it is.
That's what I was talking about.
But then that means like some people do have the ability to worship it, and if everyone had the ability to worship it, wouldn't everyone just worship it and just ignore the fact that there's a problem?
Yeah, isn't that better than just killing yourself?
I think the people who were able to accept it were the ones who were like sociopathic and stuff before their time.
That's possible, but the movie never like establishes that.
It never does.
And Tom, her like boyfriend at the end, he he has to kill himself so that he doesn't just start worshiping it. But he was never a sociopath, and like why was he like did he kill himself because the virus made him kill himself, or did he have free will to kill himself because he didn't want to start worshiping it?
I think
there's
he
so
had
many
free will because
that's what I thought too, but it makes no sense.
See, the reason why I think that about him was because the fact that he was able to have the strength to turn and shoot that guy and then pow.
But then other characters like instantly come under the spell of it, but he
and
because of plot convenience doesn't start to come under the spell until he's already killed all the bad guys.
Yeah, it was done for a plot place. Like that's all it's been done for.
All of it was like how he was the only one to make it when there was no way that he should have made it. When they cut back on how she was the one that took over the kids and stuff and how they became like a family.
Although they only become a family at the end. She doesn't even refer to her actual son as her son until the very end.
Like, oh yeah, and there's no way that they should have survived those rapids. By the way, those kids.
Oh my god, that part where the boat flips over.
Yeah.
They should
when I watched that, I was like, they're dead. They're all dead. All of them are dead.
No way that they should have survived that.
I've actually had experience in rapids that are like less dangerous than that. And even though they were less dangerous, there was this one time where this girl like flipped over in her rapids, and this was like less dangerous than this. And all these lifeguards had to come save her, and she was fine, but it's still that much like many people coming into one area to save someone. There was no way they would survive, let alone like have trouble breathing.
Also, if you can't see anything, like that makes it even harder to survive because you have like no senses of like you can't hear anything because you're underwater. You can't see anything because you got a blindfold on. You can't breathe because you're underneath a boat. You're probably getting hit by like rocks and rapids, and like there's just no way they survive that. Like
also, I want to know where that guy came from. Whenever they were 6 hours in on the river, and then that infected guy came up out of nowhere and started like trying to attack her.
Oh, he's probably just a random infected guy. That's what I thought.
Yeah, but
I felt like it was just a filler scene.
Yeah. You know, I thought it was kind of funny and hard to believe. You know the scene towards the end when they're running through the woods and she's like leading the two kids and they're trying to get out?
They're my kids!
How did she not like run straight into a tree? Because she can't put her hand out in front of her to like
nothing.
Like she got just extremely lucky that she never just ran straight into a tree. Because if you're in like a forest and you can't see anything, like you're gonna run into like head on into a tree at some point. I mean, I've like when I was a kid, I'd run around the woods like when it would be getting dark, like late in the evening, and like. If you're not careful, even with like just limited vision, you'll run into something like because there's trees everywhere.
I don't know how she only tripped twice.
She only tripped. They were running. She only tripped twice, and she never hit a tree. I think a branch hit her in the face one time, but like that's as bad as it got.
I also really love the point of view shots from the blindfold. That was really funny.
Also, I also thought how it was pretty savage of her. I mean, she ended up saying nobody anyway, but she was going to choose one of the kids to look and open their eyes.
She almost chose I think
She
the
was
girl.
gonna choose the girl. Yeah.
You're not my kid. Even though I've raised you since you were since
Again, this
literally
movie's really funny.
even though I raised
And
you
then
since literally the
finally-
day you were born, you're not my kid.
And then literally right after that, she's like, "Don't hurt kids, boy, girl, don't hurt my kids." I was just like, bro, that doesn't make any sense. You literally treated these two children like garbage all of their lives. Yeah, you gave them a little something. They don't even have names. You didn't okay, at the beginning she was gonna give the child away. Also, in that car wreck, I don't even know how that child survived.
Yeah, actually, that scene. I had another thing that my very first problem with the movie when I started watching it was that scene where the sister kills herself,
That was
and
funny.
well, and the sister, yeah, it was shot kind of funny because you could tell it was fake. But what was funny about it too was they cut back to Sandra Bullock's face, and she looked just kind of like your fucking sister just killed herself. Are you gonna cry or react or be
Also,
you need some kind of reaction. She was just kind of
How could you be so calm? It's like all of the other actors' acting was so too much for me. It wasn't that good, and then it was just Sandra Bullock and then the old guy, Douglas.
Can we talk about some of the actors in this movie, by the way? Because this is
actually what I want to do with each of you. Okay, everyone, tell me your favorite. Your two favorite actors, but one is going to be who you thought gave the actual best performance, who was convincing, and who just gave the most hilarious performance, just stupid performance.
I have two.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I have one, but the category goes to two. So Machine Gun Kelly gave the most convincing performance, and Machine Gun Kelly gave the most hilarious performance.
Okay, fair enough.
It's funny. It's funny that you say that. As soon as I saw MGK in the movie, I was like, why are they sticking this man in every single movie now?
Well, the scene where he drives off with his girlfriend in the car, I think that was actually improv, because I think that's him leaving the set and they started rolling the cameras.
Okay, why were those two characters in the movie when they were just going to disappear halfway through for no reason? That almost felt like the writers being okay, we have too many characters, but we're too lazy to kill them all off right now. They drive away. That's it.
Also,
I think
the guy
Machine Gun Kelly
that was also in that movie Get Out, the guy that played Charles.
Oh yeah, no, he was good. He was good in this movie.
Yeah,
although his death was the most predictable thing in this movie though, because he's like I'm not gonna go to the grocery store. He's like, I'm gonna die, and she's like, it would make a good part in your doomsday story. And in that moment, I was like, he's gonna die. He's straight up. He's so dead. Too. So dead. I'm sorry,
Lauren. It's just a weirdly casted movie too. I don't remember. I've seen all these people before, but I don't know why they're all in this movie.
Lauren, did you have something to say about the Charlie? I think it was his name.
That guy, his performance was probably the most hilarious to me. The old guy was all right. He kind of got on my nerves a little bit. The guy that played Douglas.
Well, they put him in every scene and made him a conflict in every scene.
Yeah, they were trying to make him like the big guy, but the asshole.
I think they were sort of working towards giving him kind of a redemption arc in a way, because he has that one scene with Sandra Bullock where they're drinking the whiskey and they kind of bond, and you see that he's an asshole, but he's still he's got some good he's got some good qualities to him, and then but then his death is just kind of I don't know, he just gets stabbed with scissors and he doesn't get to do anything. I felt they could have
lock him in the garage.
Yeah, and they trust this random guy they've never met, but they don't trust Douglas, who has been with them the whole time. And yeah, he's kind of a crazy asshole, but at the same time, he does these things because he does care about them.
Sense.
But he doesn't really get any payoff. He just gets stabbed and that's it. And it's he was, I mean, probably the second or he was maybe the second or third most important supporting character throughout the first half of the movie, and then he just kind of gets this nothing death. And
I honestly think that they put MGK in the movie for views because
Yeah.
there was he wasn't bad in the movie. I'm not saying that. It's just I noticed that one of the sentences that he said and literally the same gesture and everything. They took that cutscene and put it in there twice.
I
what
just remember
cutscene?
him. I just remember him saying, "We're so fucking fucked."
Yeah, that
That
one.
was
That's the one
hilarious.
I'm talking about.
That was hilarious.
His character
Yeah,
added
like-
added
Line
like
ever.
nothing to the story though. Like he was pretty useless. Even the hilariously bad old lady added more to the story than he did.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
The scene where like he's like opening her eyes. That was so funny.
And
that,
then when
may
she
be,
just
that,
falls out the
that,
window.
that may be my funniest moment of that movie, honestly.
No. He was like, no. No.
It's like, you will look at it, and she's like, no, I won't look at it, and then she does, and then
And she just jumps out the window.
No, that was
no, that was the
the
pregnant
was the
lady jumped
pregnant
out the
woman.
window.
Was it? Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah, she saw it and then she did that football thing and she like boom and then she
Yeah,
did
she's
a
just
flip
like
right out the window.
she's just like running out, just like it's so funny.
Old lady just started stabbing herself in the jugular with some
Oh
scissors.
yeah, that did happen.
A lot of the deaths were pretty funny though,
They were.
like especially in that one scene.
With the
And then we don't even get to see the one dude die because they like thought it would add more tension if like you just
It
hear a
doesn't.
gunshot and Sandra Bullock is under the blanket, and then a hand lifts up the blanket, and then it's just Tom. It's like, oh okay. It's like
I
I
knew
kind of
that's how it
predicted
was
that.
gonna go down.
Yeah, like this movie, it feels like a movie that would have been made in like the 70s or something from the standpoint of like, it's like they almost weren't aware that all these horror cliches exist. And it wasn't done cleverly, so it didn't seem like they were trying to pay homage or anything like that. Like,
It's like that with without
It's
the
from what I saw.
yeah.
It's like-
Honestly, Ivan, it's kind of like it's not like this movie, but it's kind of like how you and I talked about the new Halloween movie. How like
Oh, yeah.
how like a lot of those horror cliches, like they should just know better at this point, not to put them in because they're so
Yeah.
like so fucking predictable. Like,
Well, I thought Bird Box 2 was just a worse version of A Quiet Place, because A Quiet Place, in my opinion, is a better movie.
Bird Box 2. There's a sequel.
No, I said Bird Box is the worst version of A Quiet Place.
Well, you said Bird Box 2, so I was like, what? There's a sequel and I haven't seen this. Like,
No, I said Bird Box 2 is.
like this movie just came out. Come on.
No,
there's
like,
already a sequel. What?
We have to watch that and also review it. But no, I was just saying
More
Bird Box
kids?
2 also, as the movie itself, Bird Box, is just a worse version of A Quiet Place. Because like if I watch A Quiet Place and I've seen it, it's fantastic and great. It does things in that movie that make more sense logically and logistically than Bird Box does.
Oh,
Like
most
this-
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, this movie just felt like a ripoff of A Quiet Place, if I'm being honest. Like,
Well, okay, my thing on that, on you saying that it's a ripoff on The Quiet Place, they wanted to make it something like The Quiet Place, but with no meaning. A Quiet Place, they actually had a monster that they were running away from. You know, they actually, like the pregnant woman, she had to have her baby by herself in that box,
Yeah.
like muffling herself.
yeah.
They didn't go through that shit. Like it was real deal stuff. Like a nail went through that poor woman's foot.
And which was made great, had a great effect on the audience just of the way it was shot. Whereas Bird Box is very lazy within their own filmmaking.
So speaking of a pregnant woman giving birth, anyone else think it was hilarious that the two pregnant women in this movie gave birth at literally the exact same time?
Yes.
Like within seconds of each other? Like, what are the astronomical chances of that happening? Like, I'm just saying.
It
I'm
was
due October 1st. Yeah, I'm due at the end of September. Oh, my water's
that foreshadowing for, one's going to come early and one's going to come late.
I know.
No, they're going to come right at the same time.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, like, if you just look at the odds, like, those are astronomical odds. That makes no fucking sense.
Like, it really doesn't make any sense. Like, I feel like things in this movie don't make sense. Like I've always said before. Turn your brain off.
Also, another thing about that, the whole scene was just terrible. The whole giving birth scene. That old woman, there's no way that she knew what she was doing. I mean, there's so much more that should have went into it. You know what I mean? Like they made it like a clean birth. You know what I mean? Like
You want
it's not
to see all the placenta?
no. I'm not saying that I want to see all the placenta. I'm saying that there wasn't any complications. Like there's no way that it just could have been smooth riding from there. Like I don't know. I guess I'm just looking at it from like cleanliness. I'm looking at it from medicines. The way they were obviously in pain, but they were making it like it was just smooth sailing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you know what also didn't make sense to me is when the one guy was like looking on the computer screen at the cameras to see what was going on, and he's looking on a camera and the camera's pointing outside, and then he gets the virus and kills himself. Does that make no sense since this is a quote unquote viral infection that's going on?
Yeah, there's no way that could have happened.
Yeah, because like if you look, it's like saying like, oh, if I look at pictures of Chernobyl on the internet, then I'm gonna get a radioactive infection. It makes no sense.
Or like, okay, so if he got the virus from looking at the camera, then how did Tom not get the virus?
Yeah, exactly.
At those drawings.
No sense.
How'd they not get the virus when they saw in the like first or second scene in the movie, or I guess like the second scene in the movie, where they see the virus on TV, or they see like people getting infected?
Yes. Or like how many times Sandra Bullock looked up in the same direction as her sister during that time? She was saying that she wasn't paying attention, but she obviously was. Like you saw her looking around. Like how is she not infected?
The problem with this movie's rules is the fact that like not only does it have no rules, but they throw any possibility of there being rules out the window within like the first 5 to 10 minutes. And one thing for me was it was like I sort of felt like as I was going through the movie, I was like, well, like they're still revealing little bits of information here and there. I bet by the end all this will kind of come together and it'll make sense. And it never did. Like at all.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I never thought it would make any sense toward the end.
I think they were just trying to make this movie, and they were trying to get it done by the end of 2018.
It kind of feels like this was like a first draft. Like the script felt like a first draft.
They rushed it.
And boy and girl were just placeholder names, but then they just like kept them in the script because they're like, no, we gotta get this out by the end of the year. Come on, guys.
No, and then the screening happens, and they're watching the movie being like screened, and the head writer's like, oh. Fuck me.
But it's a Netflix original, so critics will probably be like, yes, very good, very good. Yeah. Netflix is paying me so much to say that this is a good movie. Yes.
Kind of like the Fuller House.
Oh, don't even get Ivan started on that shit.
It's a long story. Although I don't think it got like good reviews within the last like couple of years. I
don't know if Fuller House ever really got good reviews, but it definitely got a lot of good publicity. But there's a difference.
It's freaking garbage.
Yeah. Well, also too, like Fuller House, like season 1, everyone knew about, and now the later seasons nobody cares about.
I'm just waiting for 20 years from now when they make Fullest House, and there's literally there's just no room left in the house because there's so many people.
They're just planning a funeral for Bob Saget.
Yeah, that's true.
Just made me sad. Because it'll probably happen in a few decades.
I know, and John Stamos.
No, John Stamos will never die. He gets younger every year.
That's true.
John Stamos.
With the more hair products he puts in his hair, John Stamos stays healed.
When John Stamos dies, he'll just look like an infant.
True.
But I think we've reached the amount of time that we have to talk about the movie. So before we go, anything else either of y'all want to add? Lauren?
In my opinion, I would probably rate this at the most maybe 4 out of 10 stars.
Okay, Ivan, what are you gonna rate it?
I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10 too.
Oh my God, you guys, you stole my rating because I'm also going to give it a 4 out of 10.
All right, so looks like we all gave it a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, nice. I mean, for people who are watching this out there, if you want to watch it, watch it. If you like Sandra Bullock, she's a good actress. She did a decent job. She was probably the best character out of all of them. She was the one that made the most sense, even though she didn't make any sense at the same time. She seemed to know the most, even though she didn't know anything at the same time. She seemed to be the smartest, even though she was pretty freaking stupid throughout the whole thing, if you want my personal opinion. But, I mean, watch it.
So I want exactly all the things that Lauren just said. I want that quoted and on the back of the DVD copy of Bird Box.
Never going to be a DVD copy of Bird Box.
Who knows? I could see it happening.
Oh god, no. Bird Box is.
Yeah. So before we get into our last little segment, Lauren, how did you feel about your first appearance on the Film Pod?
It was fun. I got to talk to you guys. I haven't seen you in a while, so that was exciting. I'm sorry for me being awkward and my brain farts and stuff. I'm not the world's greatest at these things, but I feel like if y'all will continue to have me on here, it'll get a lot better.
Yeah, it gets better over time. Trust me.
Yeah, and I mean, all those things you just listed means that you just fit in with us because we're both awkward and have brain farts constantly.
Yeah,
right.
The more you do it over time, it gets better, though.
Yeah. All right. So our last little segment. Oh, sorry. Finish up.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just agreeing.
Okay. So our last little segment on the show tonight is we're going to plug Ivan's new podcast.
Yes.
So Ivan, go ahead and tell the beautiful viewers about your new show.
All right. So I have a new podcast called With, Where, and Who. So the basis of this podcast is that I talk to musicians, artists about their music, their craft, their influences, and much more on the show. So Jackson will probably link it below, but I'm going to have links to anchor.fm, which is the way you can listen to my podcast audio-wise. You can also watch me on YouTube as well. My YouTube is With Where Who or With Where and Who. But again, Jackson will link that down below. And so far, I have 2 artists on there that I've talked to. The first one being Cardiac Half, the second one being Ghost Moss. And I currently have my schedule on my phone right now. And as of tomorrow, it's not confirmed yet, but I will be talking to Winona Forever. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. Again, that is With, Where, and Who. I am on anchor.fm, and I am also on YouTube as well. Oh, also, I'm on Facebook too and Instagram. My Instagram is With, Where, Who. Again, Instagram is With, Where, Who. And my Facebook is With, Where, and Who. And again, as always, Jackson Witzel will obviously link that down below in this episode of the podcast.
Remember, it's called When, Why, and What.
Yes.
When, why, and what. That's the name of the podcast.
Where?
Yep, it's the opposite of that. It's With, Where, and Who. So it's the opposite of when, why, and what. It is
When,
with, where,
why,
who.
what, with who, when, where are we? What's going on?
All right, with, where, and who, and that's final.
With,
All
where,
right,
and who?
Wait, you're gonna have the Who on?
Who?
Yeah, I'm digging up Keithan's corpse, and he's gonna be on the show.
Rip. Oh god, that pulled some heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah, that's what you get for messing with my podcast.
I love music. Oh my god. I'll probably have to tune into that podcast myself, Ivan.
Yeah, watch some of the episodes. I have 2 episodes up available right now on YouTube and anchor.fm.
Cool.
Nice. And Lauren, we'll have to have you on more often on the podcast.
Oh, most definitely.
I
I talk more about video games.
Well, we can talk about video games too. Ivan and I, we talked about like E3 on one of our podcasts, I think. So, but yeah. So thank you everybody for watching the Film Pod. I'm JT Dubs.
I'm Ivan Lichtenstein.
And I am Lauren Gaston.
I love that whole pause in between JT Dubs and my name because I'm like, oh wait, it's my turn. I forgot we have a 3rd guest on.
And we gotta wait for like each like screen to like load the person.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for watching. See y'all
Thank you
next
all.
time. Oh, and we'll be doing new podcast every month, and normally we'll be doing 3 movies like we have in the past, but we decided to just do 1 this time. So, all right. Peace out.
Peace.
Bye.